Hey guys, it's Jess on the case. You know I'm always on the case. So most people, they go into selling all this stuff and offering things. I am strictly up here to talk about the missing, the dead, and certain other things. What I'm gonna say is, yes, this is my hair. Yeah, it's my hair. Yep, it belongs to me. I don't wear it like that because honestly, I don't like messing it up. So what I'll say is you have just on the case. So I'm going to start with this. Today we're going to be talking about Jodi Huisentruit. And this is an old case, but I wanted to talk about this case because I should have talked about this case a long time ago. I think I have known about this case since I was like 23. When I talked about Tara Grinstead's case, I was supposed to go behind that case and talk about Jodi because I found out about Tara around the same time I read up about Jodi. I don't know what was stopping me from doing this particular case. I'm not sure why, but I am here now to talk about it because her time she went missing was June the 27th of 1995. And as you guys know, June 27th just passed of 2020. And what was done in her honor was everybody went to the actual place that Jodi used to work in Mason City as a news anchor. I think it was KIMT TV. And they went there in honor of Jodi. And what they were saying was Jodi is supposed to be here now to talk about the things that are going on, like the spread of the pandemic and, the protest. She was supposed to be able to be here to do that. However, she's not here because on this same day, June the 27th, of 1995. Jodi was late for work and a call was made to Jodi to see why she was late. When Jodi got the phone call, Jodi rushed to get herself together and she rushed to her car. However, Jodi never made it out of the parking lot of her apartment building in Mason City, and it was Mason City Apartments. What the police found after her co-workers had them go do a wellness check, they found red pumps, which are shoes that ladies wear, blow dryer, and some other things thrown across the car. They also found a bent key that kind of looked like it was a struggle going on. A neighbor actually said that they heard some howling, kind of like a dog or a wolf, earlier that morning, and I guess they didn't do anything about it, maybe because they thought it was a dog or something. They also let the police know that they also saw a white van. The police also found tread marks of high heel shoes, like she was being dragged, and it was foul play. You can't say that it wasn't. I mean, at this point, foul play was involved. The night before Jodi was missing, Jodi had the day before, she had went to a golf tournament, and after that she went to her friend's house and she chilled with him and she watched the celebration of a birthday that was taped. After that, Jodi went home, and we don't know why Jodi was late for work or what led up to the event of her being abducted, because she was. I mean, they can't find her. They don't know where she is, and they really don't have a lot of leads to go on. The police also took Jodi's car, which was a red car. I think it was a Mazda, if I'm not mistaken. And they took it in for, to see if they could find something. But now they're saying that they think that they kind of took the car back in haste. And now they don't have the option to get the car back to take a look at it. And they just think that they did not spend enough time on the car for evidence. And now they're saying they have to work with what they have. However, that is not the only thing that happened. There is a billboard up of Jodi. And it kind of states what happened. And underneath there were two people dressed in black is what was told, and they spray painted and put Fred Stern and other people's name on the billboard because they feel like some of the people dealing with the police department was involved with her abduction. Also, they also have other theories that even before this, in her diary, she went on a skiing trip with her friend, the same friend that she actually watched the birthday celebration with the day before she went missing after her golf tournament. She went on a skiing trip with him and another couple that he knew. And when she was there, they kind of met other people like you would always do, like people normally do, any day. And upon meeting these two people, which were two males, it was said by the people who joined Jodi and her friend at the skiing event that when Jodi was talking to the two men, her friend kind of was not okay with it. He didn't get loud though, and he didn't make a scene about it, but he was not at ease about the situation. And he didn't like that Jodi was talking to the two men. Now, another theory that they are saying is that maybe Jodi met these two men. It could be a possibility that foul play was involved with these two men somehow. And it might have been something that happened before Jodi was able to do anything that morning about it. It was like a rush thing that kind of she ran into without knowing that was going to happen. They also say that, her being a news anchor and her kind of being famous in her town, and she was getting ready to go further. She was going to be going higher, working as a news anchor elsewhere. That was going to be more money for her. Her goals were to be stronger, to make sure her family members were strong, to make sure that they had goals because she had goals. She wanted her mom to be proud of her. Jodi's mom died at the age of 91, still looking for her daughter, still trying to figure out what happened to Jodi. She died without knowing. However, Jodi has other siblings, and they are still looking for Jodi. She has other family members as well that are still looking for her, and friends that have not given up on finding her. The thing about Jodi is because she was a news anchor, it was not hard to know her schedule. Jodi kind of works anywhere between 6 a.m. in the morning, around 7-ish a.m. in the morning, till noon. Her phone number was in the local directory along with her address. So it wasn't really hard for her to be found. And you could basically look at her on TV, especially if it was live, and you would know where she was because she was a news anchor. And I mean, my opinion on this story is, and I'm kind of calm today, as you guys can tell, is it really interests me about Jodi, just like it did with the Tara case. Before they found out who killed Tara and that Tara wasn't actually abducted or missing, she was murdered, I could not depart myself from that story. And some ways that other people, they actually read up on stories, I don't do that. All it takes is me one time reading a story, and I'm going to capture what I think is important for my audience. And the thing about Jodi is she wanted to be successful. She wanted to be an actor. And she was already on TV doing the news. So I believe if she was here today, I would believe that she would be doing way more than the news. I mean, you can get on a movie, and because you're a news anchor, you can pretend to do, news on a movie. And just by doing that and having your foot in the door for television, period, it can take you a long way. And I just believe whoever did this, they were either upset because she didn't give them the time of day. Like I always tell you guys, like when somebody doesn't want you, they just don't want you. And it's sometimes hard for other people to understand that. And people out here, they spend money on people and they do all these things for people. And then when the person doesn't want them, they feel like they can just grab the person, kill them, and then just go on with life like they didn't do anything. Like that's the same thing that happened to Tara. Tara was into modeling and was taken from her home, and then was told by the police, by people that knew her, that they hadn't seen her when they really did. And that's the same thing. Like, I don't believe that Jodi did not know the person that took her. I believe Jodi either had an encounter with this person before, or she knew this person directly. They say that her address was easily found because it was in the local directory, which spreads it out to be it could be anybody. But just hear me out. Unless it was some crazy person that really loved her and had this thing for her while she was on the news. I mean, if you really look at the situation, I feel like it was someone who actually knew her. Normally, when an abduction occurs, most of the time, if it's not by a pedophile or someone who just is into a certain type of person, and you really, if you think about it, you could really backtrack this story. Just think about all the people who are out here and just stealing people. And then this is a blonde person. This is a brunette. Oh, this is a person with this type of hair, or she has this color, or she's light brown, or she's bright, white, she's orange, whatever their preference is. But this girl disappeared. You don't hear any other stories about a story like this. Whoever did this to her knew her. And they were upset because they did not get what they wanted. So they decided that they were going to take it. And who knows, by the time the police really find Jodi, hopefully, it's very hard when this happened in 1995. And it is 2020, and we have nothing, nowhere closer to Jodi, And a lady was fired from the police department just because she thought that someone had been involved in the abduction of Jodi in her same job. And she was fired, and they didn't even look into it. Nobody is perfect, and you can be a police officer or whatever you want to be. That doesn't mean that you didn't murder someone. And, you know, all the cases that I've done, I've had stories where police officers, old police officers, have done things to people and they found out about it. You can have a close friend that you don't even know that might have a problem with you, and then you have to die because you thought this person was close to you, and because you didn't give this person what they wanted, they decided that you don't need to be here. And that's how it is. That's what people have to go through. It is Jess on the case, and I'm always on the case. You guys don't forget about Jodi. You know, if anybody's out there that's from Minnesota or from Mason City and you think you know something, contact the people within your town to give them information, even if it's hard, even if it's somebody that you know that you think did something or knows something. Tell, because remember, we all have to leave this earth one day, and I guess you guys wouldn't really want to have that on your plate with you when you go, knowing that you know something. So if you know something about any of the crimes that have been committed, any of the abductions or murders, contact the local department of that state. And like I said, it's just on the case. I'm always on the case.